Good morning, everyone. My name is Jeremy, and I am joined on this fine Tuesday morning by my two friends and co-hosts,
Shane
and
Haden. Oh,
wow.
Sorry for yelling.
Nah, it's all right. It's not your fault. We're just gonna fix that real quick.
I just had a lot of coffee, so
of course,
really energized for the show.
Of course, you got to keep the show energized, right, Shane?
Especially at 12 a.m. We need all the caffeine we can get.
Bright and early in the morning. You know how it is. Here's what I got for you.
What do you got for us?
Got some very exciting news on this episode of Triple Threat on WXJM 88.7 FM, Harrisonburg, Virginia, and also on WXJM.org. What do you think we should start with? I'm thinking we start with some fancy, some fun.
Let's talk about the NFL.
The NFL?
Just completely skip the sports report.
I'm kidding. He's kidding.
Buck the trend.
He got the jokes. I do.
We
talking about the JMU Sports Report. I want to start off the JMU Sports Report by kicking it over to Haden, actually.
Oh, starting with me?
Yeah, because recently, JMU baseball player Chase DeLauder was named the #1 overall prospect by ProspectsLive.com.
Yeah.
And Haden, our resident baseball expert over there, can talk about why that is so awesome.
I mean, being rated #1 overall draft prospect.
Not a big deal.
Not a big deal at all. I mean, everyone does it. It's a little early, obviously. None of the super big publications like Baseball Today, MLB Pipeline have put out their lists yet, and so we don't know for sure.
When is the MLB draft?
The MLB draft will be in July.
Oh,
mid-July.
So much
it's
time.
always in the summer.
They're so long, you have.
And it's in the middle of
all
the season, which is
collegiate
weird.
season.
It's in the middle of the season, too.
It's not in the middle of the season.
It's actually, they've changed it, because it used to be in June.
Yeah.
And it was in the middle of the season, but now it takes place, during or right after the College World Series.
Oh, yeah, that's fun.
It's really cool.
It's
in
sense.
Omaha, too, which is where College World Series takes place. It's
Great
really
time
cool
to raise
event.
your draft stock.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Anyway, about this prospect, what are they saying about him?
He's an outfielder. The thing that would move him down the boards right now is whether he can play center field or not. If he can play center field at the pro level, that's going to bump him up, and he could probably go high first round, maybe even first overall. But after the Cape Cod League, he obviously really impressed. Scouts are loving his bat. All the fun stuff.
Yeah?
Yeah. This draft class is loaded, too, so, having him being ranked by, a somewhat popular publication.
So that really goes to show, if this is a loaded draft class and he's ranked first overall by this publication.
Yeah.
So what's the baseball team? Go to the baseball team.
Oh, no, I'm going to every game I can now.
Go
watch
see
this
him.
guy. You'll have my scouting report.
It's not often you get to see a top prospect in your college, especially JMU.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Very exciting.
I'm very excited.
Yeah. Even the lower other publications were having him still within the top 15 picks, which is ridiculous to have because, JMU's baseball program is not,
highly touted.
So to have a player like that in your system is pretty cool.
It is super cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Fun stuff.
So what's some more official scouting reports? If they also say he's ranked first overall, then it's a big deal. What are the other places that...
the big one is MLB Pipeline. That's where every writer will reference MLB Pipeline. Some the not so popular ones, but are still really good that I like. Keith Law of The Athletic puts out a really good list every year. And Baseball America is also a really popular one, kind of like MLB Pipeline, but that one you need to pay to have access to, just like Keith Law's. So they're not as super highly recognized by the average MLB viewer, but that's what MLB Pipeline is kind of the casual will reference that as well. So one of those three, and you're got yourself in good shape. Even to be highly ranked on any of those, pretty good
sign.
shape. Yeah, for sure.
So at least top 5, top 10, right? If he doesn't go first overall.
That was with the mock drafts that I was seeing, the way too early, because obviously he hasn't even played an actual really real collegiate season because, of COVID.
Yeah.
So
among the bottom feeder teams in the MLB, by position, which team would need him the most, an outfitter who can hit? Or pretty much any team could use him.
Well, see, the MLB draft is weird because most of these players won't be playing in the big leagues for 3 or 4 years. If they're really good, 2 years. You've had the rare occasions where you have someone like Garrett Crochet who came up and he debuted in the major league as a reliever when he's a starter. So teams really just kind of draft based off who's the best.
Best player available.
That or someone who will take a deal. Like Henry Davis in the last year's draft, he wasn't considered the best prospect, but he was willing to sign for the least amount. And because you have a limited amount of signing bonus money, you will sign the guy who will take the least, but is still really good, and then you can get a really good second overall guy. And I think, who'd the Pirates get? I think they got Bubba Chandler eventually, right?
I don't remember.
I think so. And he was really highly touted, but he wanted to go play football for some really good Clemson. So he's actually decent.
Yeah.
At football.
So which team really needs an outfielder right now?
All of them.
Every team could always use an outfielder.
Okay.
You always need more players. Having depth is really important, and if someone can come up and be an all-star caliber player, which if you're being picked in the first round this year, you're probably going to be up there or a solid big league contributor. You could always use that.
So what are some teams that likely could get him? Can you just name a few so I can get an idea of who we're looking at? The worst teams in the league.
Orioles.
The Orioles is the first one to come to mind. The Diamondbacks, I think, have a really high pick this year. That's the lot I see him getting mocked to them. I think they get the second overall pick this year. The Pirates, the Rangers. Who else?
Because the Nationals, I heard they're rebuilding. Is that a possibility?
He would have to slip to
Nats are top 10.
They're a top 10 pick.
But they're not top 5.
They're 8th or 9th.
All right.
So he would have to still impress in his collegiate, actual collegiate career, but he's not gonna. Some other guys, some of the high school bats, and I think there's a guy at some college in California who's pretty highly touted as well. He's a shortstop, so
they would have to severely outperform him, or
not even severely. It's honestly some of these things literally come down to draft day.
All right,
that's how close these top tier of draft talent is.
I mean, it would be exciting to see him go to Baltimore. That's pretty close to JMU.
It'd be exciting to watch him go to the Nats.
I agree with the second one.
We're more Nats fans here.
Yeah, I know. But you're saying it's a little unrealistic. I mean,
it's not unrealistic.
It's less
Anything
likely.
can happen.
Yeah. But it's less likely than...
Based off of what I've read.
Yeah.
Is a little unlikely. But, then again, you never know what happens.
Anything can happen on draft day.
Exactly.
All right. Yeah, so we'll just look forward to what he's going to do this season and keep an eye out on that. Men's and women's basketball. Start with the men's basketball. They went 1-1 this week, improving their record to 6-2 on the season. First place in the conference. First game, 74-62 loss to Murray State. That was the last game of the Naples Invitational on Wednesday. And then they finished off the week on Sunday with a 69-65 win at Florida Atlantic. So, solid week, 1-1, still on top of the division, or the conference, sorry. Looking good. They only have one game next week. That's a Thursday. It's a home game versus Eastern Mennonite. So that's
Wait, so it's right next door to us.
But it's at Atlantic Union.
Where's Atlantic?
It's on JMU campus.
Okay. East Campus,
that's the name of the basketball center.
Right where the bus drops us off.
Oh, that's the name of the basketball center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably should have known that by now.
Probably.
I probably should have known the name of that building that I walk by on a regular basis.
Yeah, that sounds like something you should know, but it's fine.
Better late
no
than
judgment
never.
here.
Right, we don't judge.
I mean, a little bit.
I deserve to be judged on that one. Anyway.
Listen, if you get the snaps on me, I got the not knowing the place on you.
Okay, and
Got him.
How's the women's basketball team doing?
They're currently 3-3 on the season. They also went 1-1 this week. Starting with a 77-54 win versus North Carolina Central on Wednesday, and then falling to Buffalo 62-45 on Saturday. So the thing with that, Buffalo absolutely stormed back in the second half against them. They were pretty even through the first half. Didn't write down the exact score, but it was a relatively close game, and then Buffalo just went like, I'm gonna take this now in the second half.
They ran away with it.
Yeah.
Abused them.
It's alright. Get better through the season.
Still a lot of season left.
Yeah, speaking about a team that does not have a lot of season left, the JMU football team. They're entering the playoffs. Their first game in the play, they got a bye because they're just that good, right?
Of course.
Yeah. So they're going to play Southeastern Louisiana on Saturday, home field at 2. Going to be fun playoff game, But this is the second round. They got a bye. Southeastern Louisiana beat Florida A&M 38-14 to advance to play the Dukes. And should the Dukes win, they get one more home game on the season, where they'd face the winner of Montana or Eastern Washington. Excuse me. But there were also some awards given out for the Dukes' performance this year.
Mm-hmm.
Unsurprisingly, the Dukes absolutely dominated the season awards given out by the CAA.
Mm-hmm.
So many first team.
Yeah, they had 14 players named to all conference honors. I'll let Shane get into that a little bit. Did you write that down?
I did not write down the
all
conference
right, I'll
honors.
let you get into that anyway.
I know there were so many JMU players for first team all conference.
I'll let you get into that in a little bit. And also, look it up.
That's him telling you to look it up.
Cole Johnson won Offensive Player of the Year.
Let's go.
And Ethan Ratke won Special Teams Player of the Year.
I mean, as you should.
And before Shane gets into it, I want to talk about Ethan Ratke a bit.
Yes, please do.
Ethan Ratke finished his collegiate career this year. He played 6 great seasons for JMU. And he's going to go down as one of the greatest kickers in NCAA history. He has the all-time record for field goals made and points by a kicker. He is...
Wait, is this for JMU or...
all NCAA history.
Okay.
Literally every kicker that's ever kicked in the NCAA.
Got it. Just wanted to clarify there.
This season, he leads the entire country in field goals. 28. That's JMU record, personal record, leads the entire country. He also is 16th all-time in points. So out of every player that's ever played college, he scored the 16th most points. And second most in FCS, behind Cooper Kupp, who's pretty good at football.
Yeah.
I'd say he's pretty good at
football. He's having an okay season in the NFL right now.
Yeah, he's only almost on pace to break the single season receiving record.
It's not like he's first place among receivers in yards per game or anything.
Yeah, no, nothing like that. Nothing.
I don't think that guy's any good.
Yeah.
No.
It's not too bad.
I could do better.
No, yeah. Yeah, but I'll let Shane get into the all conference honors that Dukes won.
So I don't know why we call it the all conference honors. It's just JMU pretty much just has a lot of the best players. It should be JMU should just be the conference team.
Yeah, okay, got it.
It's because we have quarterback. So for first team, we have 9 players. We have Cole Johnson, QB, Chris Thornton, wide receiver, Antoine Wells Jr., wide receiver, offensive lineman, Nick Kidwell, kicker, Ethan Ratke, obviously, defensive lineman, Bryce Carter, linebacker, Diamante Tucker Dorsey. He's from Norfolk, so I'm like right next to my hometown. And he led the team in tackles this year, so shout out to him. 757 represent. Cornerback, Greg Ross, and special teams, Kyle Davis. And then second team, we have Mike Green, defensive lineman, and Isaac Ukwu. I'm sorry about mispronouncing your name, defensive lineman. And then on third team, we have kick returner Solomon Van Horst, linebacker Kelvin Azanama and punter Harry O'Kelly. So congratulations to all the football players who got all conference honors.
Yeah. And there actually wasn't that much news for JMU this week, so
Considering it was Thanksgiving break.
yeah. That's all I got for the JMU Sports Report. If you want to do hockey, Shane,
Let's do some hockey.
let's do some
What
hockey.
about the women's softball team?
Women's softball team? Right.
Women's softball. We have some alumni who were announced.
That they're trying out for the
Yeah.
women's national team.
So
Of course,
You got
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
That's not
Is it
right.
not? Oh, that's the wrong person. That's the.
Congresswoman.
Oh my god!
Politician.
I don't know why that went in my head. Oh my goodness.
Okay, maybe you should
Excuse
have
me.
taken my word.
Excuse
Shane
me.
to do this
Shane,
one.
I apologize. I'm sure she's very good at softball, but that's not the person.
Not
that
only
I'm
do you
thinking of.
almost forget, you mess up the name in the
It's
process.
fine. It's fine.
Anyway, to give them some respect, alumni
Whoa.
Odyssey Alexander.
Odyssey.
Odyssey. Forget about it. Oh, wow.
Maybe I should do
The
this.
amount of disrespect we've done already.
God.
Anyway, alumni Odyssey Alexander and Jalen Ford named to the 2022 USA Softball Women's National Team. Jalen Ford was named the first All-American in franchise history for JMU for softball, and she had a .455 on-base percentage, which I don't know anything about baseball, but when your on-base percentage is almost 50%, that is insane.
That's.
I think I'm going to retire from radio.
I Odyssey did not carry the softball team.
She did. She
Well,
was
no,
the
I'm saying she did
softball
not
team.
carry the softball team for you guys to just butcher her name like that.
Yeah, we were very sorry.
I think I'm going to retire.
Yeah. This is now my show.
Uh,
Single threat.
Single thread. I mean,
Featuring
Haden,
Haden.
why don't you take it away and give her name some justice?
Odyssey Alexander, I mean.
yeah, she.
What more is there to
She
say?
was the entire team, and
I mean, hey, let's not.
college girls, she was
I mean,
the whole team.
I think her play there to get the tie or to tag out the tying
Yeah.
at home
That was
is
that was
one of the more
insane.
impressive.
I showed that to my dad, and he was like, "So what? It's only the 7th inning." I was like, "But that's the last inning."
Yeah, I mean, even then, like that play was
Yeah,
really insane.
Yeah.
Generally, one of the best plays I've seen in like any baseball, softball.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
incredible.
But then again, I'm a little biased, you know.
I mean, it's the best softball play I've ever seen.
This is coming from the person who has
No.
said that that was the only softball they've ever watched.
Whoa, I watched like all of the World Series this year, so it wasn't just JMU.
Okay.
It was also the other teams.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Don't look.
So,
I'm done with you.
congratulations and good luck.
Of course. Yes.
Hopefully, we can see them make it.
Love to see that.
And should we just move on to ice
Yeah,
hockey?
let's
Let's
hit
do
this
that.
up with some
All right.
hockey.
All right, so in ice hockey news, let's get started with the Washington Capitals. So if you would have told me that the Capitals would be missing TJ Oshie, Nicholas Backstrom, Anthony Mantha, and Lars Eller.
Hey, he's back now.
Yeah, he's back now, but if you would have told me they all would have been injured at the start of the season, or injured at some point during the first quarter of the season, and you told me half the Hershey Bears were on our team because of injuries, the AHL affiliate,
Yep.
and then you told me they were first place in the Metro despite all of that.
Not just first place in the Metro, most points in the entire league, actually.
They're first place in the league?
They're tied with the Maple Leafs for most points in the league.
If you would have told me they would have been first place in the league with all those injuries, I thought you would have been
points.
crazy. But this has been a crazy season so far because that's exactly what happened. So I really got to give props to head coach Peter Laviolette. He's really galvanized this team together despite all the adversity.
That's a big word.
SAT word right there.
He's galvanized this team despite all the adversity. All the young guns are buying in. This is his second year as head coach. He's a very accomplished veteran head coach.
Exceptional.
You just ruined
He's
my
an
train of thought.
aficionado at coaching.
And it's just great to see this team buying in. The defensemen are playing phenomenal. The goalies are really stepping up. They have young goalies, Vitek Vanacek and Ilya Samsonov. They're both young, unproven, and they're really starting to show that they can hang in this league. The defense has played phenomenal. I've been watching a lot of Caps games, and what has struck out to me was the defense. Because with all the injuries on offense, you really need the defense to pick up the pace, since it's the only thing that's not injured or under a COVID protocol. And then Trevor Van Riemsdyk, Nick Jensen, Justin Schultz,
John
Carlson, Orlov, they're all playing great.
They are.
They're breaking out the puck. They're making it easy for the goalies to see pucks. And I didn't know who Nick Jensen was when he was traded a few years ago, and he has really surprised me with how well he's played. I had no clue who he was, but now he is one of my favorite players to watch, because I love me some defensemen. And they wouldn't be on anywhere close to first place in the league if it wasn't for the heart and soul and captain of this team, Alex Ovechkin. Kuznetsov helps too, but Ovechkin gets the train going for these guys. He has 19 goals, 37 points, in only 22 games played.
I could do better.
He's 1 goal away from 20 on the year, and he's 1 goal away from 750 career goals. He's only 17 goals away from Jaromir Jagr to take third place all times in the goal scoring race. He looks like he hasn't aged at all. He's putting up OV numbers when he was in his early 20s. It is insane how well he's doing. And like a few nights ago, he had that hat trick, said hi to waved to his son, which is pretty awesome. This team is so fun to watch. I haven't been this excited to watch the Capitals in a while. It's just nice to see everything coming together. The defense, Ovi putting up crazy numbers, and all these young guys buying into the system.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And going on to the next segment, one of the Capitals' biggest rivals, the Pittsburgh Penguins, have some interesting news.
They suck.
They are, They did the exact opposite of what the Capitals have done. Despite all the injuries, they have regressed a lot. The young guys haven't stepped up. And they are also getting bought out by the Fenway Sports Group.
Yeah, the Red Sox.
The same owners of the Boston Red Sox. I don't know if you guys knew, but when the Penguins really sucked after Mario Lemieux won his Stanley Cups, they were really bad after a while.
And then Lemieux had to buy the whole team.
They almost went bankrupt because their fans did not care.
Right.
After they weren't Stanley Cup champions. And so Mario Lemieux and several others had to buy out the team from bankruptcy. And then they drafted Sidney Crosby. They got good again. They got the fans back, and they're fine now. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, it looks like their time as contention has come to an end. And so they've been bought out by Fenway Sports Group, and hopefully when the Penguins eventually have to rebuild again, then they can manage their production better.
I think they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Fenway Sports Group owns 5 teams now. I think they'll be fine.
You know what that means? We got another hockey team coming to Boston.
Let's go! Greatest city in the world.
I don't know about that.
It's not.
2 hockey teams in Boston. Who could say no? Me.
Best
I could say no. I disagree.
World? And then former Pittsburgh Penguins goalie Matt Murray. He is now on the Ottawa Senators, and he has been put on waivers.
Oh no!
So he does not have a win this season.
Oh.
Well,
he has 5 losses. His save percentage is below 900, and his goals against average is above 3, which is really bad for NFL standards. Ottawa, NHL standards, my bad.
Okay.
So the back-to-back Stanley Cup champion with Pittsburgh, he's regressed a bit. Unfortunately, I heard from several people that after his father died, he just hasn't looked the same since, which is a really sad story to hear.
Yeah, that sucks.
So after that Stanley Cup run, Pittsburgh felt comfortable to let Fleury go in the expansion draft, and it looks like they kind of regret that decision because they haven't had consistent goaltending.
I don't know. Fleury's been kind of not good this year.
I don't know if that's more, but he's been really good for Vegas.
He's good for Vegas, and now he's not good for the not Vegas.
That's because not Vegas sucks.
Is he at the Blackhawks?
The Blackhawks are pretty bad.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So he got traded to Ottawa for a second-round pick, and it's just sad to see this once young, promising goalie who could have had a great career. It just hasn't lived up to his 2 Stanley Cup championships. And then another player, so maybe a team can claim him off waivers, hopefully he can get his confidence back.
Do you think someone will?
Nah, because his contract's pretty high.
Wait. Dallas. They need their 10th goalie.
They need another one. They have Holtby, Kudobin, Ottinger's looked good, and yes, because they need...
They also have Ben Bishop.
Oh, I forgot they still have Ben Bishop.
Yeah, they need like 4 more goalies, and then they'll have like the whole Infinity Gauntlet.
Goalie. Past their prime goalie Infinity
I think they should
Gauntlet.
just only play goalies. Trade away everybody else in their entire roster, just goalies.
I agree.
Put them on the ice.
I think they should do that.
Question, hockey.
Idea.
Why not?
You know what else would be a phenomenal idea?
Seriously, could they actually have 2 goalies out there on the ice? Like,
No.
in like full goalie pads? Could they have like a whole... Like, could they have 6 goalies on the ice just skating around in full goalie pad?
I'm pretty sure that's against the rules.
Are you sure?
Are we
though?
sure?
Yeah.
Can we get a fact check on that?
Well, you guys can fact check while I go over
I'm
the
fact
other
checking
hockey
you.
segment.
Please fact check, because
So
that would be
another-
so cool.
Another player that got sent down on waivers is our good old buddy Evander Kane.
Oh, I love that guy.
So we haven't heard from Evander Kane in a while
Yeah, he got suspended for a while.
for having a fake vaccine card.
Pretty sure it's more than that.
Well, that was what the 20-game suspension was for.
21 games.
And then, all the other issues, locker room cancer, gambling debt, ugly divorce, allegedly gambling on his own games. So Sharks have been publicly stating they are willing to trade this guy and they're willing to take on half his salary.
Mm-hmm.
And this dude has a big contract, willing to take half his salary just to get rid of him. They really want to get rid of this guy. He's expected to report to the AHL. It would be interesting to see if he actually reports to the AHL affiliate, because he's required to if he wants to get paid.
Why wouldn't he?
It's Evander Kane.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't put it
doesn't
past
he need
him.
money?
He does.
So why wouldn't he?
Also,
Also,
when has Evander Kane
this man will
shown he can
literally
make logical
this man will
decisions?
literally score 300 goals in the AHL.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt he's that talented. But it's Evander Kane. You never know with him. You just have a feeling something bad's about to happen.
I have an update on the goalie thing.
Yeah.
What is it?
You can only have one goalie on the ice at a time. Dang
What a
it.
shame.
It's really disappointing.
All right, guys, time to petition the NHL to change the rules.
I heard in the early days of the NHL, someone tried to put 2 goalies out on the ice and 4 skaters, but it didn't work out because the 2 goalies just kept on getting in each other's way.
Well, you just stand up, block the entire
What if
net.
you just laid down horizontally and on top of each other
Yeah.
and you just blocked the goal?
I think if
That's
you
what I
get-
thought. Why
think
don't
if-
all
I
the
think you
players just
2
get up in
goalies.
front of the net and just block off there's 6 of them.
I think
so
if you get
can
2
block off
goalies
every
that are
single angle.
exactly each 3 feet wide, right? Right? Both of them are 3 feet wide. They just stand up straight, just like a statue.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're doing pencil dive into the water, right?
Yeah.
They just stand there, right? They just stand there and block the entire. They can't score.
Question. What if they signed Siamese twins as a goalie?
Would you have to pay both of them, or
I don't know.
Well, is that against the rules if they're both technically goalies?
Are
Is
they-
that one
there's
player?
no rule in there about
Is that
Siamese
one
twins? I can
player
guarantee you
or is
that.
that 2 players? I
I
think
think it's 2 players.
we've just exploited the market.
Yeah,
We've solved the NHL.
but we should really get back on.
Okay,
that.
yes, please.
Yeah, and another person who's struggling right now are the Montreal Canadiens.
Did they fire their general manager?
They fired the general manager.
All right, I wrote
And
that down, but I wasn't sure about that.
What I have to say is it's about time.
Why?
Because Montreal, they've been stuck in mediocrity, and Marc Bergevin has done nothing but keep them in mediocrity when they really should have tanked. He was general manager in 2012, and I always felt like they were a mediocre ice hockey team carried by Carey Price.
Yeah.
Like, they were just good enough offensive, player-wise, and then you had the best goalie in the world.
Yeah.
So that kept them relevant. But their team, you knew they weren't good enough to win the Stanley Cup because they just didn't have the elite people on offense.
Yeah.
And then I haven't liked Marc Bergevin's drafting. Like last year, he used his first-round pick to draft a guy who was a sex offender and publicly stated, hey, don't draft me because I screwed up. I should not be drafted. He drafted him anyway.
Was he Canadian?
In the first round.
I heard this man only drafts Canadians. I heard that he only signs people from Canada.
No, it's not true, because he drafted Jesperi Kotkaniemi 3rd overall when Quinn Hughes and Brady Tkachuk were on the board, but because he wanted a center, he drafted him, even though he's projected to go, like, mid-first. Like, Jesperi Kotkaniemi was a huge reach.
All right.
Still and then how that situation devolved was just bad asset management, and he signs horrible free agent contracts. Like, if you remember the Carl Alsner deal, the PK Subban trade doesn't look good now that Shea Weber looks like he's not going to play again.
Capitals legend Carl Alsner?
Yeah. That contract aged well. And then he signed Tyler Toffoli. It's just, you're just preventing, this team's already bad, and you're like wasting cap space just trying to stay mediocre. And that cup run was such a fluke.
Losing is boring.
I know, but they need to do it to become good again.
I agree. I know.
And luckily they're trying to be bad at the right time because these next 2 first overall picks are supposed to be sick. Like, these next 2 draft classes, really good. So if there was a time to tank and rebuild, now would be it.
Oh, yeah.
So he was replaced by Jeff Gorton. He was the former general manager of the New York Rangers, who was recently fired.
He didn't do a great job.
He got really lucky.
He didn't do a great job.
The only good thing I remember is that he got K-Andre Miller as a late first-round pick, and he looks like he's going to do well. I don't know anything significant that he did that really says he should be the general manager of this rebuild.
Is he Canadian, though?
I think so.
There you go. That's
because
why.
Montreal only hires people who are
that's why.
Canadian and can speak French. So I assume Jeff Gordon speaks French.
Yeah, that's the one.
Canada. Okay, continue.
And another team that's doing really bad right now is Team China may not play in the Olympics men's competition.
That's not what I expected you to say.
I know, this is kind of off topic. But
I'm here for it.
I saw somewhere that Team China is so bad, the International Hockey Federation and the Olympics are considering not having them play.
No, have them play. Against
Team Canada and the United. They're in the same division as Team Canada and the United States, and I believe Germany.
That's what the Olympics are for. They're for embarrassing people.
But
that aren't the U.S.
So imagine those guys belly flop and high dive. Like,
yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
So how many points do you think Canada could put up against Team China?
Points?
Team China 2. Right now is... The best they've done is 5th place in their division in the KHL.
Okay.
What's the KHL?
It's the second best hockey league in the world, but there's a considerable drop-off from NHL talent.
All right.
I think Canada can put up at least 20 points.
I think they can put up at least 1.
China.
Yeah, I agree with Haden.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Yeah. I think I win.
What is it, 2 points for a win? I'd say 2. 2 points.
What?
2 points.
I think he mean. Do you mean points or goals?
Goals. How many goals do you think
at least
Canada
1
can score against China?
Probably 8.
At least 1.
Because they're worried about that big of an embarrassment.
Doesn't matter.
So in the case they decide China is not good enough to play, Team Norway would take their place.
All right.
And then, final story I would like to cover. So have any of you guys witnessed a sporting incident where someone bit someone on the other team?
I watched an old clip of the Mike Tyson fight.
No, I have not.
It was kind of similar to that. There was a bit of a fight scruff that was going on in the Ottawa-Los Angeles game.
Them boys are having a scruff over there.
So, like, from what I've seen in the video...
I'm sorry, I'm leaving.
Shane, continue, please.
So, from what I've seen in the video, they were both down on the ice, and then the ref was trying to separate them, and then Brady had his hands all over Claude Lemieux, that's his father, Brendan Lemieux's face. And then at some point, Brendan Lemieux just took a chomp out of his thumb.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. So after they got separated, Brady Tkachuk was pissed. He was going up to the ref, screaming, like showing him the hand that it was bleeding. It's just the guy's gonna get suspended for a while. He's a repeat offender. He drew blood. It's just.
Yeah.
What's your thought of just biting someone. You know you're going to be gone for a while if you're going to bite somebody in the thumb. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, let's not bite people. That's like...
Yeah. Is that the official triple threat stance?
Yeah.
Biting's not nice.
Don't bite people.
Biting's dangerous. It's like a lot of stuff in your
Unconsensual
mouth that
biting's
can, like,
not cool.
Yeah.
that can, like, give people infections and
Yeah,
stuff.
it's like, especially during the pandemic. Like, that guy just had COVID, too.
Oh,
So
cute.
he's in
Ottawa was on the COVID protocol list. Brady probably had it, so he probably could have gotten himself sick. It's not a smart decision.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not.
Probably
So
not.
that's all the...
I have some questions for you in hockey, Shane.
Oh, fire
First
away.
of all, Bergeron got suspended for 3 games.
It wasn't Bergeron.
Yes, it
It was Marchand.
Marchand?
Marchand 3 games for the
Marchand.
slew foot.
Yeah, what is a slew foot?
Slew foot
You
is
like-
when you use your skate to knock out somebody
Like
else
knock them
from
over.
behind.
Oh, okay.
It's like when you're both skating forward and you kind of use your skate to kick someone's feet out of underneath them.
Right. That makes sense.
Didn't someone get like a suspension for throwing a glove at somebody?
Probably.
Like he was like in the penalty box and he like threw it. It was
You're
a
right.
Bruins player.
It was Marchand. My bad.
Was it Marchand who threw the glove?
No. I don't...
I know he's got a fine. Somebody got a fine for throwing.
I can't recall that incident.
And it was the same
right now.
amount that like Tom Wilson got for like slamming that guy's head
Oh,
into the
they're
ice.
so inconsistent when it comes to punishing players.
And so it was
Like,
that was-
Marchand's a repeat offender. I'm surprised he didn't get more.
Mm.
Because it's such a dirty play, and Marchand has done so much other bad stuff in the past. But when it comes to the NHL, if you're a star player, they're going to go easy on you.
Right.
Like Sidney Crosby, you saw him like throw a Capitals player into the boards
Mhm.
recently. Like full on, grabbed him by the shoulder pads and just tossed him. And it was a dangerous play, too. Like, the guy's head hit the boards. Crosby got nothing. So, the NHL definitely... It's so inconsistent, and they definitely are biased towards their star players. So, Marchand, 3 games. I thought it should have been worse, but since he's a point-per-game player, star player for Boston, he's not going to be gone for long.
All right. And then one last thing. This is not a news story, but I had a question.
Yeah.
Preparing for the show, I decided to look at the hockey standings, you know?
Yeah.
And I noticed the Islanders only have 12 points, which, if I remember correctly, is the worst in the entire league.
They are the worst in the entire league?
They only have 12 points. I didn't see any lower, but I could just be remembering wrong. Why?
Why?
How? Aren't they good? What is happening to the Islanders? What? Huh?
I think the entire NHL community jinxed them. Because for these past few years, they were like, oh, Islanders are not making the playoffs. And then they've made the playoffs and gone to the conference finals. And then this year, everyone was like, all right, Islanders are back-to-back conference champions. They're locked for the playoffs. And then they proceed to suck. But their schedule hasn't really done them any favors either. They started off with a 13-game road trip.
Right, and that was the excuse I was having them
Yeah.
have. But they're back at home, and they've been home for a good bit
Yeah.
of time now. It's not looking any better.
Yeah, so they're a very old team. They're one of the oldest rosters, and it doesn't help that they signed Zdeno Chara and Zach Parise, 2 players that are... Chara's in his 40s, and Zach Parise's in his mid to late 30s. So as the league is getting younger and faster, and the Islanders play a very defensive system, and once that defensive system doesn't work, you're screwed because they can't make up for it on offense.
Right.
So it's just, you can just see the age on the team, and they're on a lot of long-term contracts, so they have no choice but to play with this team because most of their contracts are expensive and for a long period of time. So I haven't watched a lot of Islanders game, but what I chalk it up, and their 2 best defensemen are also injured too.
Okay, that'll do it.
Yeah. And then, so once you lose your defense, which was their identity, they're screwed.
Right.
And I know we say, oh, the 13-game road trip. The last team to have a 13-game road trip to start the season was the 2010-2011 Vancouver Canucks.
They were pretty good.
They went on to the Stanley Cup final.
They were pretty
and
good.
lost in Game 7. So at this point, there's no excuses for the Islanders. You gotta hope your team gets its... Can't say that. Bearings together. And rebound and go on a run here. Because there's no excuses. You have to win.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. that was my big question. I looked at that and I was confused because they're good. They've been good, but I guess they're
think
not anymore.
Ryan Pollock and Adam Pelech, I know one of them's injured, and they were one of the best shutdown pair in the league. One of them's injured, so.
Before we move into baseball, I've just been staring at the word Segway for a while because it's on this computer. It's kind of messing with me. It's literally it's Segu.
Segu.
I hate it. I hate it.
Well, I think we should segue into baseball right now.
I was gonna say we could segue into NBA, but
I'll do some NBA real
I figured
quick.
NBA is real quick. Knock that out.
Let's knock out the NBA. So, big news. DeAndre Jordan signed with the Bucks. He's old and he's not as good as he used to be, but he's still probably good enough to. He's tall. He's very tall. He's very tall.
How tall are we talking?
Like 6'10", maybe.
I'm taller.
I don't know what measuring system you're using, but you're definitely not taller.
6'10" Big Macs.
Yeah, but he's probably still a good defender.
Probably.
Probably.
You sound so unsure.
I don't think he's very good anymore.
All right.
But the Bucks signed him. It's an incentive-laden contract. It's just not a lot of money, but if he does good,
Low risk, high reward.
yeah, basically. Yeah, that kind of thing. The Warriors have only lost 2 games.
Man.
They've played 20 games.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
They're pretty good at basketball again, and I don't like that because I thought we were going to move on from the Warriors dynasty, but
Nope.
no. Steph Curry was like, excuse me, it's still my turn. Give it back. And they did. Yeah, he's killing it right now.
A little bit.
Probably the MVP frontrunner right now. It's kind of scary stuff.
Curry's getting spicy right now.
Yeah, he is. He sure is. Michael Porter Jr., back surgery. He's out indefinitely. It sucks because he is such a young, incredible talent. He had injury history coming into the draft, which is why he fell so far.
What team is he playing for?
He plays for the Nuggets. And he finally played up to his caliber last season. He was a massive part of the Nuggets after they lost Jamal Murray to injury. Similar injury, actually, another back thing. Or never mind, that was an ACL. Sorry, my bad. I'm all over the place right now.
It's all good.
But he just signed a huge contract, like a big deal. I don't remember the exact numbers, but he signed a big contract over the offseason, and now he has his back surgery, which sucks because he is very good at basketball. Very good at basketball. And last but not least, big news of the day, Kemba Walker. Not sure if you guys heard of him.
Yeah.
He used to be really good at basketball. And now he's on the Knicks, and he just got benched.
Oof.
He was struggling. Alec Burks was playing better. I really like Alec Burks. I think he's really good. I think the Knicks have a solid roster, and Kemba Walker, when he's at his best, is incredible.
Yeah.
But he's not at his best right now, so hopefully he can get back to it soon because I love seeing good people, good
How are the
basketball.
Knicks doing right
They're
now?
good.
They're good now?
They're good.
I know they used to be bad for a while.
Yeah, they got good last year. They have a good roster. I really like their roster.
Good for them.
Yeah. But hopefully they'll get back to it. I love seeing good basketball because good basketball is just really fun to watch. That's what I got.
Speaking of good basketball, Wizards are pretty good.
They are.
Coos.
Yeah. They're third in the East, I think.
Tied for third.
Tied for third.
With 3 other teams.
Yeah, but I mean, that's way overperforming what they were supposed to do.
Well,
And it's
Washington
awesome to see.
should know. If you got a guy with Coos in their name, they're going to do good for Washington.
Oh, that's a good point. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Kuznetsov and Kuzma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I got for the basketball.
That's all I had.
I think we should
Yeah.
move on to Babs ball.
Yeah, you wanna hit us up with some baseball, Mr. Haden?
All right, guys. So
Strapped in, ready to go. I heard there's a lot.
this is genuinely the most insane offseason baseball's ever had. as of right now, it looks like that this is going to be the most money ever handed out to free agents in a single offseason. I think it's like well over $3 billion
What?
among all free agents.
I'm sorry, what was that number again?
$3 billion?
Nah, that's a fake number.
I mean, when you have, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys getting over $100 million already, and a bunch of the top shortstops are still on the board?
So Jeremy just got that late. It was like a solid 5 seconds, and he was like, oh.
So, we have some options here. Do you guys want to start with boring CBA stuff, or do we want to talk about some free agents?
Let's talk
Boring CBA stuff.
Boring CBA stuff.
Boring CBA stuff.
Okay. So the MLB has leaked their proposal to the MLBPA. A lot of letters there, and one of the big things is they want a 14-team playoffs where the top team in each league, the American National League, gets a bye, and then the other division leaders get to pick who they play in a 3-game series.
They pick?
Yeah,
They pick.
I think it's super cool.
That's innovative.
I don't like that there's that many teams because...
I don't like that it's a 3-game series, too.
Why?
I think
Because that leaves a lot up to luck.
it's a lot of
Because
luck.
you want to see the best teams make it, and
Well, I mean,
a
it's
3-game
baseball.
series leaves a lot up to chance, because you can just have a bad team that just gets on a good run.
Well,
and they
that
just win those 2
also-
games.
That's just baseball. That
That's
happens
baseball.
every year in the playoffs. I mean,
But at least
I
if
think-
it's
but
5 or
the
7, the,
system- the
better
system-
team is more likely to win.
The system they have right now is wild card is a 1-game thing.
yeah.
This gets rid of that, but it was just a 1-game fluke kind of thing. You know?
Yeah,
But now you're putting out division winners in a 3-game series against, the Cincinnati Reds would be playing against the Dodgers in a 3-game series, and I mean I don't know
think
if
that's
you,
better than the one and done.
but I mean it's going to be a different kind of baseball, and teams are going to be built differently.
Right. So
Where your big 3 is going to be the most important part of your roster.
yeah. So if I'm mathing this out real quick, right?
Mhm.
That's 3 division winners, 1 gets a bye.
Yep.
Plus 2 more wild card teams that these 2 division winners pick.
Yep.
What happens to the other 2 wild card teams?
They would just play each other. The 2 teams that were left out, because it would be 7 teams, and so you need 2 pick, and then there's 2 left out, and so those 2 teams would play each other.
Okay.
The teams that are left out. That was the big thing. The DH was proposed, universal DH.
Is that going to happen, do you think?
It's going to happen.
I see.
Everybody wants it.
DH?
Designated hitter, so the pitcher doesn't
Okay.
hit
Yeah.
in the American League, but does in the National League right
Yeah.
now. They want to make it so that the pitcher never hits, because pitcher can't hit most times, unless
Isn't-
you're Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, I was going to say, what about that guy?
Well, he's DH'd for the Angels, because he plays in the American League.
Yeah.
So he just DHs all the time. He wouldn't be doing that. I mean, that would just... There's some weird rules, but I don't think they proposed any of that. They did propose... This was an interesting thing. They did propose a higher competitive balance tax threshold.
What does that mean?
So you know how in other sports you have the hard salary cap?
Yeah.
In baseball you have the competitive balance tax threshold. And if you pass that, there's potential that you lose draft picks, and there's all these other weird rules. Most teams just use that as the hard cap. Some teams like the Dodgers last year, the Mets this year, kind of just ignore it.
Yeah.
Because when you're that good, if you just build this super juggernaut team,
Yeah.
because owners don't want to spend more money than they have to.
Yeah.
So it's kind of been if you don't do it, I won't do it type thing. But now teams are starting to do it, so it's kind of weird. I don't think a floor was proposed, but I know the MLBPA wants that a lot. There is a draft lottery for the first 3 picks, was proposed.
Can we get the ability to trade draft picks?
I don't think that was proposed in that.
Can we get that? I want that. Can you talk to them?
I don't have Rob Manfred's number, unfortunately.
You sure?
Yeah.
Oh. They should do that.
They should. I think it's weird that they don't, but they don't. And I think the other really big thing was they wanted to propose a higher league minimum salary.
All right.
Which they should.
I mean, no, not for minor leagues.
Not
for the major leaguers.
Yeah.
Who currently make $570,000 is the league minimum. It's not going to be a big bump. If anything, it's going to go up to $600,000, $650 at most.
Never mind. I thought it would be more.
No.
Yeah.
Of course not.
I was hoping it was for the minor leaguers.
I think that would be really interesting though. What if a guy signs for $7.5 million, or not million, $750,000, but the league minimum gets bumped up to $1 million.
Yeah.
I think that's really funny.
Yeah, that'd be.
What do you do there? Do you just?
Well, I think you got to the contract.
You just bump them up.
You got to honor the contract.
You honor the contract there.
Yeah, I think so.
Because
because they're going to save money.
Deadlines are deadlines. If you sign before a deadline,
you sign the contract. That's you don't get grandfathered. You get grandfathered in or whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
You know how it'd be.
Yeah, but the big thing was the draft lottery for the first 3 picks. I think that was really interesting because it's only the first 3 picks. That was weird.
Similar to the NBA.
Well, yeah, the NHL has that too, where it's draft lottery.
It's only the first 3?
It's not the first 3. It's the first 10-ish.
Yeah, I mean that's how it is in most leagues. It's 10. 3 was weird. It's a weird random number.
I don't know. I thought the NHL changed it recently, where it's only the top 3.
I don't know. I'm not.
I don't know.
I'm
not the hockey man.
Because they were mad that Edmonton got so many first overall picks, and the worst teams in the league weren't getting the. It was some petty stuff they didn't really need to change, but whatever.
Mm.
But yeah.
So
there's a lot of arguments over the expanded playoffs too, because some people the MLBPA argues that it's now teams won't add the Dodgers, the Mets are doing right now. They won't add these big people in free agency or via trade, but the MLB they're hey,
is that all the major points for the CBA?
Pretty much, yeah.
So new baseball playoff format, it, don't like it, indifferent.
I don't like it.
Where do you guys stand?
I think it has cool elements, but I don't like it.
I don't like it either. I think
I like the way it is now. Actually, I really like the way it is.
With fewer teams.
I like the fewer
and the
teams.
one and done.
Yeah, I mean, it could be better, but the way they're trying to fix it is not the answer.
Yeah, baseball. The top teams are all just so good. Where on any given day, someone can have a good night. And it's, I think, more so than any other sport. And so I think it's a lot of randomness and a lot of luck in baseball. Especially
all sports.
In baseball,
that's why you have to play 162 games in baseball.
It's ridiculous. And so to have a team like the Reds would have made the playoffs, and they might have made a good push. The Mariners would have made the playoffs under these new rules. And I don't like it. They didn't deserve it. Being the top 4 team, or what? Top. I'm blanking on how many teams are in the playoffs. Top 5 teams in your league. That's impressive.
Yeah, you get your better matchups, and you feel like you really deserve it.
Top
for
7 out of 15. That's almost half.
Yeah. I want to put this in perspective, Shane. I heard this from some baseball player, right? If you're best baseball player in the world, right?
Yeah.
You get 3 chances to hit the entire game. Right?
Yeah.
You only get 3 chances the entire game. That is a long game. And if you miss on one, you can't do anything on offense until...
Yeah, other people bat.
Exactly. So, if you... it's just... it's just so much. The best player in baseball is going to affect his team a lot less than in any other sport. Because he gets less chances to touch the ball, for lack of a better term.
That's why the Angels, who have had Mike Trout for over 10 years now, made the playoffs once.
And that's why you're advocating for only the fewer teams making it?
I mean, I wouldn't mind more teams. I wouldn't mind a 6-team.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind a third wild card. Just have each of the division winners play a wild card team. I wouldn't mind that. Actually, that wouldn't work. Whatever. They get the top 2 get a bye, and then We'll figure it out. Whatever. I wouldn't mind another team.
I mean, it's not the end of the world if like a 14-team like playoffs comes through. I don't think baseball is dead because of it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like the worst sport ever. I just think it kind of ruins it a little bit, like takes away from the accomplishment a little bit. And yeah, I think you're more likely to see these like underdogs come up and win.
Oh.
You know, because like the Nationals,
It
won the World Series.
It wasn't their best team.
That wasn't the best team that the Nationals have put on the field.
It absolutely was not.
Especially when Bryce Harper left.
Yeah. I think the best team they ever put out was 2012.
I wasn't watching that.
But they didn't win. They had the best record in the league, and they blew it against the Cardinals.
I personally like the new format. I like that a few more teams get in, and it makes it more exciting because I like those Cinderella runs, especially for the teams that are kind of sneaky good.
Right. No, I mean, I wouldn't mind it. I don't like it more than the way it is right now.
Yeah.
I guess is a way of putting it.
Yeah, I agree with Jeremy there. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the contracts.
The fun free agent stuff.
Fun free agency.
So Texas Rangers, they've not been good. They traded away their face of the franchise outfielder, Joey Gallo, last trade deadline to the Yankees. And you're like, you know what? Tired of being bad. And they went out and signed a ridiculous amount of players. They signed arguably the top shortstop in the class. I don't think so. Corey Seager to a 10-year, $325 million contract.
Yeah.
That is the biggest contract so far by $150 million.
Longest contract, too.
Yep. And, the next person who comes in second place in both length and amount, Marcus Semien, also, one of the top middle infielders in baseball, was top 3 in MVP voting in 2019 and 2021. They gave him a 7-year, $175 million contract. And you're like, you know what? We're not done. We're going to go sign this guy who's been out in Coors Field, which is not a pitcher's park at all. Like, it's super high elevation, so like the balls move weird, like they don't break as much.
Travel further. Not easy to pitch there.
It's not easy to pitch there. We think he's a lot better than he was in Coors. We're going to give him a 4-year, $56 million. Yeah, 4-year, $56 million deal.
His name is
John Gray.
Yeah.
Seager, that was the guy who got the huge deal, right?
Yes.
Corey Seager, yep.
Yeah. How old is he right now?
He's in his 20s. He's like 26.
He's 28.
I was close.
28. So that's going to take him until he's 40?
36.
30.
38.
I thought it was 12
38,
years.
yeah. 38.
10-year.
No, 10-year.
Oh, I thought you said 12 year.
No, sorry. $325 million.
I was going to say 12 years. Jeez, how old's the guy going to be by then?
10 years is a long time, too.
10
yeah,
years.
but 12 years, yeah. But
I mean,
You're right, 12
so
years
you're
is
signing
longer.
the guy till he's 38.
yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
think he can play till he's 38?
Yeah.
I mean, he's not going to be a shortstop at 38.
It'll
Right.
take him through his prime, and you don't have to worry about signing him to another contract ever.
I guess there's no hard cap, so it's not much of a...
It's a lot of money.
I mean,
It's still a lot
they
of money,
also had like one of the lowest payrolls in baseball prior to today,
All right.
or
So-
whenever they started signing all these people.
in the short term, I think next year they arguably. You know what? I think I'm gonna say they have the best middle infielder, best middle infield
Yeah,
in all of baseball.
I'd have to look, but
I don't know. I don't think that's too much of a stretch to say.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you have two guys who could go off and win the MVP.
Yeah.
I don't think any other middle infield can say that.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. Unless... Actually, yeah. No. It's...
It's them.
Yeah.
It's absolutely them. It's awesome to see. It's always good to have to have hope in a place like that. They haven't been good since Josh Hamilton
And when was Josh Hamilton playing?
a long time ago, like 2010, 2011.
Man,
It's when he was
it's
good.
weird how we're calling that a long time ago.
That is
In baseball, that's a long time
it's
ago.
10 years, man.
I know, but it
That's
feels so...
Half your life.
I know, I feel so old saying, wow, so long ago. And it's just like, man, I was like...
You were in
Yeah.
elementary school, Shane.
I know. I was in
Anyways.
grade school.
Anyways.
I remember the Boston Bruins won the cup in 2010, 2011.
A long time ago.
Long time ago.
Long time ago. And they weren't the only team out in the AL West to make some big moves. the Seattle Mariners.
Hold
Love
up.
of my life.
Your boys.
My boys.
Hold up.
Oh?
Before you go into your fun talk about the Seattle Mariners,
The Mariners.
we've reached the top of the hour.
Already? Wow.
Yeah, I want to just remind everyone you're listening to Triple Threat on WXJM 88.7 FM Harrisonburg and WXJM.org, hosted by me, Jeremy,
Shane.
and
Haden.
thank you so much for listening. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
It's all
Hayden.
good. Seattle Mariners signed the reigning AL Cy Young winner, Robbie Ray, to, what was it? It was 5 years. I lost him. $115 million.
Cy Young is best pitcher.
Best pitcher in
Yep.
the American
Yes, I'm learning.
Dude, you're killing it.
League. Now, Jeremy, I don't know how you feel about this. I think that's a very team-friendly deal.
What was it? 5 years, 100-something million?
115. That's a $23 million AAV.
That's very team-friendly for
Reigning Cy Young winner.
compared to another guy we're going to get to later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's making less than Marcus Semien is.
So why would he take this team-friendly deal?
Maybe it was the best that was offered.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
Really?
money still. 125
for a
million?
Cy Young winner?
125 million,
Now,
Shane.
to be fair,
But
he
this,
was
you're
not
saying
great.
this guy took a team-friendly deal. You saying he could got more money?
I mean,
I mean, I would have gone more on this guy, personally. But there's a lot of guys who I would give more money to and less
Was it a
money to others.
stacked pitcher class this year?
there's a lot of pitchers out there right
There's
now.
okay, so it's
Because if you're a reigning Cy Young winner, especially you get paid a lot more. The only reason why I wouldn't pay him more is if there's other options in free agency.
There are
he's
other options.
Yes,
likely to regress. He's
Okay.
not. He was extremely dominant and a little lucky this year. He was still very good.
Yeah,
He was
and
a career year.
worth all of this money.
yeah.
I still think he can be better than this contract, and he can outperform this contract, and that's why I say it's a team-friendly deal.
Yeah.
It's still over $100 million. It's not like, let's not be crazy and say, oh, he only is getting $20 million a year,
Well,
5 years.
Yeah, you said very team friendly, which makes me.
He's still getting over $100 million.
He's still
I
getting
know, I know,
$23 million a year. Like
Yeah.
it's just.
It's weird hearing that in team friendly.
I think I would have given him like a $25 million, like a $150 million. Like that's the I really like Robbie Ray.
Yeah. And he's on the Mariners too.
He's on the Mariners. The
Ridiculous.
Mariners needed an ace, and they got it. Yeah, he's really good. Jeremy kind of teased it a little bit, so I guess we'll go there. The Mets.
Can we just do the Mets? Because, God.
They just got a new
Mets.
GM too, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So he must have been busy.
The Mets were like you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you.
I want you.
They did it 4 times.
Come to our team.
They got Mark Canha and Eduardo Escobar. These guys aren't like, oh my, like blow your hair back type players, but they're going to lengthen your lineup and make your team a lot better. They signed Starling Marte, who
I love him.
he's going to steal a lot of bases, and it's going to be fun. I'm surprised he didn't get more money. He only got $78 million. I think he could have gotten $100 million, honestly. I like Starling Marte a lot. Great defender out in center right now.
I think, he's older. What is he, like
32.
32? That's probably why he didn't get as much. Worried
Yeah.
about his age holding up.
I mean, he's probably going to be playing the corners by the end of that contract, but, like, still, you're getting a great player.
I like him a lot.
I like him a lot, too. I think that's a great deal
I
by
also
the Mets.
like, did you say Mark Canha already?
Mark Canha, yeah.
I like him.
Yeah.
I think he's a sneaky good.
He's sneaky good.
He's good. He's a good defender.
And gets on base.
What position is he?
He's
Outfielder.
Outfielder.
yeah.
He's probably going to play left or right for them.
I don't know. He's fast, and
I would hope so.
yeah.
He's an
I
outfielder.
don't know.
He's an Oakland A.
He was
Ooh.
he was on the A's, and every time I'd watch an A game, it's like a ball that I thought was going to be gapper. He's just
There.
there. It's
Yeah.
defense. Defense wins championships, right?
Oh yeah.
And we have to talk about the elephant in the room. Max Scherzer got a 3-year, $130 million contract.
It's $43 million a year.
43.3. Max Scherzer getting paid more than the
Pirates.
Pittsburgh Pirates and the Baltimore Orioles.
Entire
And their
roster.
entire 26-man roster. He's making more money than them.
Per year or just contract?
per
total?
year.
Just this year alone,
Yeah.
he will be making more money than all of the players on the Baltimore Orioles combined by like $6 million.
Think about this, all right? Think about how scary the Mets are. Jacob deGrom.
Max Scherzer, Taijuan Walker.
Terrifying. Oh my God.
It's weird hearing Mets and terrifying in the same sentence.
Terrifying.
I mean, when you sign arguably the greatest pitcher of this generation, a guy who could pitch till he's 45 and still be good,
And then pair him with the greatest pitcher in the MLB currently.
Yeah, that sounds pretty terrifying.
a guy who threw 12 starts and has the 10th highest F4.
He had an ERA of 1.08.
Through 12 starts.
What's his wins above replacement?
A lot.
He had like 4 in 12 starts.
And he only played like less than half a season.
He played like a third of a season.
Wow.
This man is insane. You pair him with Scherzer and Walker.
And whoever you throw in the back end of that rotation, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. You got your big three right there.
And you just lengthened your lineup a lot. Because like the biggest knock on the Mets, in my opinion, was that they had Brandon Nimmo in center field.
You don't like the Nimmo?
I love Nimmo. He's not a center fielder.
So props
now-
to the new GM.
I mean, it's Steve Cohen is shelling out a ridiculous amount of money, and that's more of what it is. I don't think the GM... I mean, none of these are like extremely team-friendly deals. These are all solid contracts. It's just... Wow.
Yeah. The Mets decided to do things.
Yeah.
Like last year, except this year it's more, and it's crazy. Scary to think about. It's scary.
Yeah.
I'm scared. I'm shaking in my boots.
And Cashman, he's still asleep. Hasn't done anything. Brian Cashman, he's the GM of the Yankees. The Yankees Twitter loves saying that Brian Cashman is sleeping while all this is happening.
Cashman doesn't want to give the cash.
Exactly. Other fun deals. The Marlins are signing people and trading for people. They signed Avisal Garcia, who is one of the more underrated corner outfielders, to a 4-year, $53 million contract. $13.25 million AAV. Pretty good deal. And they traded for Gold Glove winning catcher Jacob Stallings. Gave up a solid reliever for him and like some minor league guys. But, you're getting a really great catcher behind the plate. Especially with that pitching staff that they have of those young arms. That's going to, that rotation might be the best in baseball next year. So that's kind of scary.
What team did you say that was again?
The Miami Marlins.
The Marlins, yeah.
And they're probably still going to add some more pieces. The NL East might be scary. The Braves haven't done anything. The Nats haven't done anything. The Phillies haven't done anything. But
I don't get the Phillies.
The Phillies are weird.
They're always like 1 or 2 pieces away, and they're like, nah. They're just like, nah.
We don't want to contend.
I'm good. We'll tease our fans. We'll be like, hey, look, we got this. Oh, but we need this. But we got this though.
Like they needed Starling Marte.
Yeah.
They would have been so good if they got Starling Marte. Now they got to go trade for Kiermaier. Otherwise it's a bust of an off season for them.
It's already a bust of an off season.
It already is, but I'm making it a little bit nicer. Corey Kluber used to be really good. Kind of injuries, shoulder, really took him back a little bit. He got a 1-year, $8 million deal with the Rays. So this guy's about to win the Cy Young again because it's the Rays. And Corey Kluber's got the potential to be really good, and I hope he is really good. What else? What other fun signings?
The Twins signed somebody.
They re-signed
They extended Byron Buxton.
I love Byron Buxton.
Byron Buxton is so good at baseball.
He is so good at baseball.
I hope he continues to be good at baseball.
I hope he stays healthy.
Yeah.
I'm going to say the thing that everyone ever has... The same thought everyone ever has ever had. If he stays healthy, that contract's really good for them. If he doesn't, that contract's not so great for them.
He's so good at baseball.
So good at baseball.
Your best ability is availability, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This man is insane. I can't. I don't. Impossible to overstate how good this man is at baseball.
Yeah. I mean, when you're going to... What? It was like the third best defender in baseball based off of DRS.
Arguably the best hitter in baseball.
When healthy.
I mean, ugh.
So hopefully this
steal
guy
bases.
can stay healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for the Twins.
Yeah.
Twins could be good next year. What else?
I'd love to root for another Minnesota team. Well, I don't know if I want to. It usually ends in suffering.
The Blue Jays, they lost their ace, and they're like, you know what, Giants, we're taking yours. They got Kevin Gausman to a 5-year, $110 million deal. That is $5 less million than Ray got. I'd rather have Ray, honestly. But that's just me. I think Ray has a higher upside. But, still a really good rotation that they got there in Toronto now.
Yeah.
With Barrios, Gausman now, Ryu, Alec Manoah, Nate Pearson. Solid rotation.
Absolutely.
And then, there's other signings. Desclafani, Alex Wood went back to the Giants. The thing I want to talk about real quick, and then we'll quick run the football. Michael Lorenzen was with the Reds. He was a relief pitcher and outfielder. Was like average at both. His agent came out. Was like, you know what, guys? This guy, he's the next Shohei Ohtani, And then he signed with the only team that has Shohei Ohtani. He signed with the Angels.
You know what they say? Twice as nice.
If you can't beat him, join him.
Yeah.
And he's going to be a starter for them. I really hope that that's not their final addition to the rotation because he's not a starter.
He could be.
He could be. I don't think he's a good starter.
But he could be.
He could be.
He could be the
So
next Shohei Ohtani.
I don't like the deal.
You don't like the deal?
I don't like the deal. I'm not on the Lorenzen hype train, to be honest.
Gotcha. What do you not like about him? It's just got like a gut feeling. You just have these players you don't like.
He's just not great at either.
He's like very...
He's like a bench bat.
Yeah.
And he's like a middle reliever. And
don't understand all the hype.
If he was one or the other, he wouldn't get any hype, but because he can do both, he gets a lot of hype. And a bunch of relievers signed, but that's not really a big thing.
So real quick, which team do you think is most improved?
Rangers.
The Mets.
The Rangers are gonna are somewhat can compete a little bit. The Mets were already a solid team, and now they just got better. They're now
well, maybe Jeremy's saying that goes to show how much the Mets have gotten better.
I don't think you understand. The Rangers didn't have Marcus Semien and Corey Seager, two guys who could win an MVP 48 hours ago, and now they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For most improved, yeah, definitely.
Do I think the most likely to do something with their improvements? The Mets. But the Rangers are the most improved.
All right, that's fair. I forgot about the Rangers.
And then you would say, who's the biggest disappointment?
The Phillies.
That, haven't done anything?
Yeah, who should have done something, who really could have made their team a lot better and then didn't do it.
The Yankees.
Yankees and Phillies?
Yankees and Phillies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brian Cashman, wake up.
Yeah.
Knock, knock.
And after all is said and done, who is looking like the best team in the league right now after free agency?
The
Dodgers.
The Dodgers.
Dodgers. Even though they haven't really made any good moves.
They could go grab some random starter, and they're the best team in the league by far.
All right.
Yeah. I like the Blue Jays roster a lot.
Yeah, they're pretty good too.
Yeah, I like the Blue Jays. I like the Mets. I like the Mets a lot. I think they're going to be good. Yeah.
I'm going to come out and say it.
Uh-huh.
I think the Mets are going to Met. I don't think they're going to win the division.
No, they're absolutely going to Met.
They're not going to win the division.
They're so absolutely going to Met. But that doesn't matter because they're going to have the extended...
The Marlins are going to get Castellanos, and they're going to win the division.
It's because they're going to have the extended playoff format. They're still going to make the playoffs. That's what's going to happen.
Okay.
That's going to save them.
The Marlins are going to pick the Mets.
And lose.
And they're going to lose.
Yeah.
And then the Mets are going to win the World Series.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. The Mets are absolutely going to Met. They're going to go they're going to win 80. They're going to go 82 and 82.
Yeah.
And be the last wild card team.
Yeah. Okay, I'm glad we agree here.
So who's the guy on the Twins again? Who?
Byron
Byron
Buxton.
Buxton.
Byron Buxton. If he's healthy,
The Twins are making the playoffs.
Twins are making playoffs.
I wouldn't go that far. Detroit. Correa's still on the board. Correa to Detroit.
Correa to the Mets.
Correa to Detroit.
Javi Baez is still out there too.
I saw Mariners rumors with Baez.
Yeah,
Yeah. That would be fun.
that would be fun.
Are there any big names that are still left? That
Javi Baez, Carlos Correa,
Clayton Kershaw.
Clayton Kershaw, Chris Taylor. I can just Raisel Iglesias is still out
I
there.
thought he with the Angels, the qualifying offer.
You didn't accept it. Trevor Story, Michael Conforto,
Yeah.
Nick Castellanos, Freddie Freeman, Carlos Rodon, Chris Bryant, Marcus Stroman,
There's a lot of big
Schwarber.
names.
are
There's
there any
so many
good
more people.
matches that you would like to see? Like, what team could go grab one of these guys and they'd be significant?
Chris Taylor with the Nationals.
I don't
think
like
that'd be
that.
fun.
I think the Mariners should grab Bryant and Stroman. And the White Sox grab Conforto. I think that would be a good ad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you like to elaborate on those additions? Why would those be good additions?
I mean, you could always use more starting pitching with the
Yeah.
Mariners. Chris Bryant, he fits that left field / third base hole that the Mariners have.
Yeah.
And the White Sox don't really have a right fielder. They have Adam Engel. I like him a lot. I don't think the White Sox value him very much. So, yeah.
And then Jeremy, why'd you want Taylor? Is that
Yeah.
what you did? Why do you
Because
think
he
he'd
can
be good
play
at
like
positions?
all the positions, and the
He can't play all
Nationals
the
need
positions.
all the positions.
That's true. Those are both very valid points, except for right field.
Yeah, they don't need right field.
They don't
but
need right field
it's all
or
right.
first base.
So you need that pocket knife. Just
You
useful for a
need
lot of
you
situations.
need the Swift.
I mean,
you
I
need
think
the
The
Swiss
Swiss
Army.
Army
any
knife.
team-
That's the term.
I think any team that signs Chris Taylor is vastly improved themselves.
But also, Chris Taylor isn't just a Swiss Army knife guy. He's actually good. Like, really good.
like he's a
do a lot
all-star
of
caliber
things well.
hitter
Yeah,
who can play
like,
any position
generally-
on the diamond.
Generally, the Swiss Army knives guy are just average players, you know? But this guy is actually good, and he can do all
Above
the things.
average,
Yes.
some might say.
So, yeah, I like him a lot because he's very flexible and stuff.
Do you think he's actually going to be on the Nationals? Or
No.
is he gonna,
No.
he's gonna pick
They're,
it up?
no, but I'd
He has
like
a
to see
qualifying
it.
offer attached to him. The Nats
Yeah.
aren't going to sign any qualifying offer.
I'd like to see it. I would.
All right, let's talk football, Jeremy.
Yeah, let's talk football. Injury news, unfortunately,
So many.
just a few big ones. 2 running backs. Christian McCaffrey is done for the season after injuring his ankle last week. It's a shame. He's one of the best running backs talents in the entire league. But he is done for the season. Second time on IR, ends the season. Dalvin Cook, torn labrum. He will be back before the season's over, but he will be out for a little bit. That's the big injury news. Also, offensive lineman out for the season on the Browns. He's very good offensive lineman, but no one cares about offensive linemen. So,
Well, yeah, you don't care enough to even say his name.
Joel Bitonio.
There we go.
Thank you.
Respect to those offensive linemen.
Offensive lineman, thank you very much.
What did I say?
Yeah.
You said defensive.
You said defense. No one likes defense.
I think I muttered
Defense
it.
loses
I thought I
championships.
said offensive lineman.
Anyways,
Could have just muttered that.
go back.
The Giants won.
Hey!
It's a good week. Everyone rejoiced. The Giants won a game. They beat the Eagles.
Let's go.
Congrats.
And you know who scored? Boston
Boston
Scott.
Scott.
I don't like him, but he didn't beat the Giants this time.
Yes.
He actually cost them the game, arguably, since he fumbled on one of the
He
last
actually
drives.
scored 2 touchdowns,
Yeah, I
but
thought
one of
that
them didn't count because there was a holding penalty.
Lovely.
So, yeah. Go Giants.
Go
They
Giants.
won. The Bengals?
Oh, I didn't know they allowed murder on television.
Yeah, the Steelers?
I don't know what we're talking about.
The Bengals won like 41-3.
They absolutely destroyed, humiliated the Steelers.
I mean, they have Joe Burrow, the hottest quarterback.
You turned
That's
it
not
back?
named Matt Stafford.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I was going to
I was
say.
gonna say.
Yeah.
Man.
Don't worry, I
Bengals
saved
were-
it.
The Bengals are the real deal. They didn't use Joe Mixon. Finally, I mean, he's always been a good running back, but he's really taken a step.
162 yards.
He's really taken a step up this season, and it's really good to see because he's a very good running back, you know?
Yeah.
It's always good to see someone live up to their potential.
And everyone was so concerned about the Bengals O-line. Like, they're doing a lot better than expected, like putting up these kind of offensive numbers too.
Yeah. Leonard Fournette, scored 4 touchdowns. That's a lot of touchdowns. Last week, someone scored 5 and another person scored 4. So we just had to keep the streak going, you know?
Who's going to be this week?
This week? Saquon Barkley. Let's go Giants. Nah, that's not going to happen. But I can hope. I can dream. Yeah.
Do you know who didn't win? The Vikings.
Did they not win? They didn't win.
They lost to San Francisco.
They did lose to San Francisco.
It started off so well, and then the Vikings got a Viking.
Yeah.
We just find ways to lose, and then it really hurts that Dalvin Cook is injured.
Yeah.
I'm not too concerned yet because Madison has looked good when Dalvin Cook hasn't played this season. So I'm not giving up hope yet because Madison has looked good and easily replaceable for Cook. And we still have all the pieces. It's just when the Vikings actually get their bearings together, they can look like a good team. And with how weak what conference are they in? The NFC. They can easily get that final wildcard spot. I have faith that they can stumble their way into that one.
No.
Easily is a stretch, but they can get it.
Yeah. Easily, more like it's a possibility.
Yeah.
It's very within their reach to be able to take that final wildcard spot.
Very easily within their reach is also a stretch, but it's possible.
It's within the realm of possibility.
It's statistically possible.
It can happen.
They have a chance.
They have better odds than the other
chance.
teams that are under 500 in the NFC. All right. A few more things. Cam Newton, 1 week after he had his glorious return to the Carolina Panthers, had his less glorious return to the Carolina Panthers bench. He was benched because he played bad against the Dolphins, and PJ Walker came in, and he didn't do too good either, but Cam Newton was benched, which, yeah.
It was funny because I saw the first quarter of that game, and they were like, oh, Cam is back. He threw like a 60-yard reception to DJ Moore, and then he got a rushing touchdown, and they were like, oh, Cam's back. He looks so good. And then he proceeded to play horribly for the rest of the game.
Yeah, he did. So he got benched. Speaking of bad play, I'm moving the floor to you guys. The Rams. Are they okay? What happened? Do they need medical attention? What did Von Miller do to them?
They need me.
They need you?
They need me.
Yeah?
I'm going to be the new Rams cheerleader.
Yeah, I think you're just not hyping up Matt Stafford enough.
I think I've been slacking on my Matt Stafford compliments, and I'm going to send him many, many, many Instagram DMs.
The Rams look like the best team in the league for a while, and now they don't. And now they look bad, and, I mean, I guess you could chalk it up to a tough schedule, but, I mean...
Good teams should be able to
win. They should at least
teams find ways to win.
They should at least look competitive in these games. Like...
So come on, the Vikings beat the Packers. You can't let the Vikings outdo you like that.
That's a division game. That doesn't matter.
Yeah. We do have plenty of experience with Aaron Rodgers, so...
Yeah.
And that defense, so it makes sense that we could pull one out, but...
And I'm scared that the Patriots are back.
Same here.
Mac Jones...
Just when we thought it was over.
The Patriots are the number 1 seed in the AFC. They are the best team in the AFC. It is scary. I don't like it.
And they
Go
look
back to
good.
the shadows where you belong.
Like, these aren't fluky wins. They look good.
Yeah, I don't like it. We just got rid of you. Stay back.
Mac Jones. Like, you got to be good.
Stay back. Stay back.
Why won't you die? We thought you were dead, but it came back to life, and now it's stronger than ever.
Yep. And then today was a Monday Night Football game. And this Monday Night Football game was unlike any other Monday Night Football game that I've ever seen. It was crazy. There was stuff that happened, like an onside kick that they got, and then it didn't count because...
A guy was a yard too close to the kicker.
Yeah, that's dumb. First of all, Russell Wilson does not look back. He looks hurt, and I don't think he's 100%
And the O-line isn't doing him any favors either.
No. He can't throw the ball like he can't throw it accurately. He's having trouble with that. The Washington football team didn't look good either. They didn't. It wasn't a good game,
Yeah, it wasn't.
but it was an interesting game. There was a blocked extra point attempt that the Seahawks returned for a touchdown, a 2-point conversion technically. It was fun. It was cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
Washington lost their kicker. They couldn't kick for half the game. It was ugly. Yeah.
It happened.
It happened. It was definitely a game that happened. And that's about the best thing I can say about it.
Yeah. Two not very good teams facing each other. Very sloppy.
Yeah.
It was fun, though.
It
That's
was a
all that
fun
matters.
game. Yeah. That's all I have for football. Time to go into my favorite segment of the week. Hayden's question of the week.
All right, guys.
What do you got for us?
I have a serious one.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, I'm sorry to disappoint. But we've been talking a lot about rules today.
Mm-hmm.
So now, if you could change one rule in a sport, what would you change and why?
Go for it, Shane.
One thing that comes to mind is that in ice hockey, when you pull the goalie, you're not allowed to pile up snow in front of the empty net. This is the first thing that came to mind. So I want it to be allowed where a goalie could just like pile up snow at the empty net, and then he can get off the ice, and the refs just let it happen. So it'd be funny just to see the puck go towards an empty net and just get stopped because there's like so much snow in the way.
I would abolish ties in football.
Oh yeah, that's a good
I
one.
would get rid of ties, and instead, I would not add extra overtimes. I would just have the one overtime. I would like to go into a kickoff, if you will,
That would be fun.
where you bring out your field goal kickers, and you start at like 40 yards, and they each kick. If they each make it, they move back 5 yards. Keep going until one person misses. I think that'd be so much fun.
Yeah.
Baltimore would love that.
I would love that. That only happens if it ends in a tie after overtime. That's
Yeah.
not going to happen that often.
True.
But, like,
You won't hear any complaints from Baltimore though.
wouldn't that be fun?
It would.
That would be fun.
What about you, Hayden? What do you think?
I
What rule
would-
would you change?
ban non-Siamese twins from all the major sports.
You would ban non-Siamese twins.
Only Siamese twins are allowed to compete in the 4 big sports.
How? 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 That's my question
And
for you.
you were apologizing for not taking this seriously.
How?
I never said that you guys had to not. I gave an actual genuine question,
Okay,
but I'm not going to take it seriously.
Hayden,
Yeah.
walk me through this. How?
Modern
How?
medicine
Each count
can
as one
perform many
player.
miracles.
I don't think you could find enough Siamese twins in the world.
We can create them.
What kind of mad science stuff are you up to,
I believe
Shane?
in modern medicine.
This is not modern medicine. This is, we can create them. That's not how it works, Shane.
You've never seen Jurassic World.
Are you going to take 2 children and weld them together? What are you...
I'm a twin. Well, you're a twin too. Something could have gone wrong during the splitting process where we just stopped splitting and we could have been Siamese twins.
You can't make them, Shane.
Not with that attitude.
Shane, that is inhumane.
There are accidents.
This is not an accident. This is very clearly on purpose what you are describing.
I'm just trying to consider in a world where it would be possible to have Siamese twins play all the 4 major sports. So
I think you could find enough.
there are definitely people out there who would definitely
You gotta
genetically
import a lot of
modify
talent.
themselves into making Siamese twins to get that dough.
There's got to be that would be like a new job for
Siamese
people.
twin
Is
breeders?
to go
Is that what
find no, to
Or
go
just
find them.
doctors who get that.
To go all around the world and go to the most remote places in the world to try to find Siamese twins.
to go play football.
And hockey and
baseball
and
basketball.
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 All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening to Triple Threat Show on WXJM 88.7 FM, Harrisonburg, and WXJM.org. I have been Jeremy, joined by Shane and Haden.
What's up?
Good night.